New York City, a melting pot of cultures and dreams, faces a chilling reality. Hate crimes fueled by intolerance and fear are on the rise. The statistics paint a grim picture, but it's the individual stories that truly resonate, laying bare the human cost of prejudice. Each incident sends ripples of fear through communities, leaving many feeling vulnerable and exposed. The city that never sleeps now finds itself grappling with a new kind of nightmare. Recent incidents have shaken the city's core, exposing the raw nerves of societal division. A climate of fear and uncertainty pervades, leaving many questioning their safety and sense of belonging. The question on everyone's mind: who will be targeted next? In this atmosphere of anxiety, one name has emerged, crystallizing the city's unease: Skiboky Stora. Skiboky Stora, a name now synonymous with hate in the minds of many New Yorkers, remains at the center of a storm of controversy. The accusations against him are as numerous as they are disturbing, painting a picture of a man driven by prejudice and rage. He is alleged to have targeted women, white individuals, and Jewish people in a series of unprovoked attacks, leaving a trail of fear and anger in his wake. The attacks attributed to Stora follow a similar pattern, according to law enforcement officials. Victims describe being approached by a man matching Stora's description, followed by a barrage of hateful slurs and threats. In some instances, these verbal assaults escalated to physical violence, leaving victims with injuries ranging from bruises and lacerations to, in one particularly disturbing case, a broken jaw. The randomness of the attacks, coupled with their apparent lack of provocation, has only served to heighten the sense of fear gripping the city. As the investigation into Stora's alleged crimes continues, more details are emerging about the man himself. Described by neighbors as a recluse, Stora has a history of mental health issues according to court records. However, mental illness, while a factor that cannot be ignored, does not excuse the severity of his alleged crimes. The question remains, what could drive an individual to inflict such pain and suffering on others based solely on their identity? The victims of the alleged hate crimes, each with their own story of resilience and trauma, have become unwilling symbols of a city grappling with rising intolerance. Sarah, a young woman walking home from work, found herself the target of Stora's alleged rage, subjected to a torrent of misogynistic slurs before being physically assaulted. The attack left her with visible scars and an invisible wound, the fear that lingers long after the physical pain subsides. David, a Jewish man on his way to synagogue, recounts a similar experience, his faith making him a target for Stora's alleged bigotry. The verbal assault, laced with anti-Semitic slurs, shook David to his core, leaving him questioning the safety of a city he once called home. His story, like Sarah's, underscores the insidious nature of hate crimes, their impact extending far beyond the immediate victims. These individual stories, each a testament to the human cost of hate, find an echo in the experiences of countless others across the city. The elderly woman afraid to leave her apartment, the young couple harassed for holding hands in public, the shopkeeper targeted because of their ethnicity, all bear witness to the pervasive climate of fear that hate crimes engender. Their stories serve as a stark reminder that hate, in all its forms, has no place in a just and compassionate society. The alleged hate crimes attributed to Skiboky Stora have ignited a firestorm of anger and fear in New York City, prompting a wave of community response and calls for justice. From candlelight vigils to rallies denouncing hate, New Yorkers have come together in a powerful display of solidarity with the victims, their voices echoing a collective cry for an end to the violence. The city, known for its resilience and unwavering spirit, refuses to be defined by these acts of hatred. Community leaders, politicians, and activists have joined hands in condemning the attacks, calling for swift and decisive action against the perpetrator. Mayor Adams, in a powerful address to the city, vowed to crack down on hate crimes, promising increased police presence in vulnerable neighborhoods and enhanced support services for victims. The NYPD has stepped up patrols and launched a dedicated task force to investigate hate crimes, demonstrating a renewed commitment to ensuring the safety and security of all New Yorkers. Beyond law enforcement, there is a growing recognition of the need to address the root causes of hate. Community organizations, educators, and faith leaders are working tirelessly to promote tolerance, understanding, and empathy. From interfaith dialogues to workshops on combating bias, these initiatives aim to build bridges of communication and foster a more inclusive society. The fight against hate, they argue, is not just the responsibility of law enforcement, but a collective effort that demands the active participation of every citizen. Hate crimes, unlike other forms of criminal activity, strike at the very heart of a diverse and inclusive society, leaving deep scars that extend far beyond the immediate victims. They are not simply acts of violence but messages of hate, intended to terrorize and intimidate entire communities. The impact of these crimes reverberates through families, neighborhoods, and society as a whole, eroding the fabric of trust and understanding that binds us together. Experts point to a complex interplay of factors contributing to the rise of hate crimes in recent years. Economic anxieties, political polarization, and the spread of misinformation and hateful rhetoric online have all created a fertile ground for intolerance to flourish. Social media, while offering a platform for connection, has also become a breeding ground for hate speech and extremism, normalizing prejudice and inciting violence against marginalized groups. The legal system plays a crucial role in responding to hate crimes, sending a clear message that such acts will not be tolerated. Hate crime laws, designed to impose harsher penalties on offenders, recognize the unique impact of these crimes on both the victim and the community at large. However, prosecuting hate crimes can be challenging, often requiring prosecutors to prove not only the act itself, but also the underlying motivation of bias. This requires meticulous investigation, sensitivity to the experiences of victims, and a deep understanding of the nuances of hate crime law. As New York City grapples with the aftermath of the alleged hate crimes linked to Skiboky Stora, one thing is clear: the road ahead is long and arduous. The scars of these incidents run deep, serving as a stark reminder of the fragility of social harmony and the ever-present threat of intolerance. The fight against hate requires a sustained and multifaceted approach, one that addresses both the symptoms and the underlying causes of this societal ill. While law enforcement plays a critical role in investigating and prosecuting hate crimes, true progress requires a broader societal shift. Education, dialogue, and empathy are essential tools in combating prejudice and fostering a culture of respect and understanding. Schools, community organizations, and families all have a role to play in shaping hearts and minds, instilling values of tolerance and acceptance from a young age. The media, too, bears a responsibility in shaping public discourse around hate crimes. Sensationalized reporting or the amplification of hateful rhetoric can further divide communities and incite violence. Conversely, responsible reporting that provides context, highlights the voices of victims, and promotes understanding can contribute to a more informed and empathetic public. The fight against hate is a collective one, requiring the active participation of all segments of society. It is a marathon, not a sprint, and demands unwavering commitment and a belief in the inherent worth and dignity of every human being.